then the anxiety goes down too, because going into the party, what do most people remember when they go to parties? The past. They're focused on all the bad, none of the good. We're focused on everything we don't like instead of what we do. Our focus is wrong. So last night, even though I don't like to go into situations where there's lots of people and there's music and there's noise, what's the good? Well, I know most of the people. I know the whole staff. I'm with my wife. I'm with someone I love deeply in Lyon. He's one of our missionaries with our church, and he's our pretend son. So everything great, once I focus on everything great, then the edge of everything just went away. Hey, welcome to What's Your Problem? I'm Scot Ferrell. Great topic today. Normally I take topics from people, grocery store, whatever it is. They write me, send me an email. Today's came straight from my wife. Today's topic is, what do you do when you have social anxiety, you have to go to a holiday party, and you don't want to go, and you don't want to deal with everything that surrounds the party? All right, why is that such a great topic? Well, we're in the holiday season. You can see the Christmas tree behind me. And we wanted to be festive, and a lot of people like to go to parties, see people, hang out, talk to people they don't know. You can go meet friends, meet interesting people, have a lot of chit-chat, a lot of one-off conversations. Hey, man, how are you doing? Well, this is my name. What do you do? And grip and grin and give out business cards. But what happens if that terrifies you? Well, we had to go to such an event last night, meet people we don't know, and be festive and act like we're excited, and I'm really not talking about we, and we're talking about me. I'm on the spectrum, and I don't always do well at parties, and I have to work on my social skills sometimes. And even though I teach these things, sometimes the teacher has to teach himself before he can teach anybody else. So I'm going to teach you how to get over the anxiety of going to parties, doing small talk, doing chit chat, and then dealing with all the people you don't know. All right, so get a pad and pencil and write this stuff down, or if you know somebody who's got a tinge of social anxiety, refer them over here or just send them the video. But my goal is to help you overcome that. So let's think about this. I knew about the event for 3 to 4 weeks, right? We're members of a club here in North Georgia, and we're members of a club for people who don't really like clubs, so it's perfect for us. And it's like my getaway to where during the week, I can go up there. There's nobody there. I can go get a bite to eat, hang out with the staff. They're fabulous. I can't say that everybody at this place is fabulous. Great staff. They're accommodating. They're friendly. I care about them. They care about us. And during the week, I don't really have to chit-chat with anybody other than the staff, and I know them so well. They're like family to us. So there's no anxiety. It's like my respite. Well, then you throw a party into the mix with a lot of people I don't know and other members, because there's a lot of members there. They probably have 5,000 members. Now, there weren't 5,000 people there, but I didn't know them all. And so we're going to be there for about 2 hours, so I had to think through things, all right? So I tend to not do well in social situations. There's going to be music. There's going to be talking. There's going to be people I don't know. What do I do? All right. So I've had 3 to 4 weeks to practice. All right, so I know it's going to be loud. I know there's going to be a lot of people. I know there's going to be people I don't know. What do I do? And I'm feeling anxious about this. Well, why am I anxious? Well, I don't do well with small talk or new situations or going to see people I don't know. Okay. But I'm taking my wife and I'm taking one of our missionary sons, Lyon, with us, and they're both great with people. Okay. So I'm not really going to have to talk to that many people I don't know, and I'm not really going to be in an uptight situation. And I do know several people at the club, and so I had to go through. So what's your first thing you do? You make a list of everything you're going to see that night. Nobody likes to be taken off guard, especially somebody with social anxiety. But if you'll list out everything that in order of what you're going to do, you can wipe away any anxiety and you can take away any surprise situation. So what did I do? I wrote a list of every single thing I would encounter during that 2.5 hour period. Who I'd probably see, what it was going to look like, what it would smell like, what are we eating, what are we doing, where am I standing, what's it like to even walk into the building, what's the drive up like, what am I listening to? Every single thing that I would encounter during that evening, I wrote out. And then I looked and said, okay, that's not stressful. I'm in charge of that. And the drive up, I'm listening to jazz, so I'm good on that. And then I go through the gate and see the guards. I like all those guys. They're really cool. I always like seeing those guys. Doug and the boys are always wonderful. And then I get to the building. Okay, parking lot's very soothing there. It's a beautiful place. All right, so far so good. Drop my wife out at the door, done. So I'll walk in. I'm used to walking into this place a bazillion times. Then I see familiar faces that I know checking us in, and see some of my friends at the door. All right, not bad. And I'm going through this in my head before it ever happens. There's huge Christmas trees in the front. All right, that's cool. I know everybody that works there. That's easy. And I'm walking through this in my head. We'll probably sit at a table. I can do that. I always do that. All right, so what am I doing? I'm rehearsing through everything that I'm already familiar with. So if I'm already familiar with this, why am I so stressed out about it? It's no different than going home, right? You come in your front door, you sit down on your couch, you sit down in your favorite chair. There's nothing stressful about that. See, I'm de-stressing the situation before I ever encounter it. So by the time I got to the event last night, I had walked through every single possible scenario that I could possibly face. I had already pre-greeted people I didn't know. I made them up in my head. Didn't know what they looked like. I'd already spoken to the staff in the bar where I always go get Sprite with lime, because I don't drink. Did plenty of that in the 80s. Don't need to unleash Frank the Tank on anybody else now. I'd already gone through who I'd probably talk to with my wife. Where are we standing? What do we look like? What are we wearing? My wife likes to pre-pick out what her outfit is, and then I'll match something with it. If you want, you go online and look at the photos. So I've stepped through all these hoops. So by the time I got there last night, I parked where I knew I would. I'm listening to music I already determined. I'm walking in the door. Sure enough, I know the staff standing there. I knew some of the people standing there, went ahead and greeted them, looked for my wife. She's already inside. Looked at the food. It was fabulous. Our chefs at this particular club are amazing. So I knew the food was going to be great. And then I looked for my wife. She'd already gotten us the table where we would be, close to the Christmas tree, out of the way. So everything that I had practiced over the last 3 weeks all happened. Yes, I did meet some people that I was going to have to talk to, but they were really nice. It is nice being somewhere where we are, everybody's over a certain age, right? And if you look at it, we're some of the young ones. But it's great because I grew up hanging out with older people. So my mom and dad took us everywhere with their friends. So I was always used to being with people 20, 30 years older than me. And our meeting age where we are is 60-ish, which is cool. And then we have grandkids and everybody goes with us, right? So sure enough, I was able to take the anxiety level down by practicing the situation. It's no different than when I was a coach. We always practice before a game to take away surprises going into the game. Why not practice? If you have anxiety issues, why not practice before you get there? That way, there's anything that can surprise you, and it's already taken away the edge of the anxiety. Now, it is the holidays. A lot of people struggle with holidays. Why? Death of loved ones. They focus on the past instead of the future. I'm not real big on that. I always think about, well, where am I going? Not what I've lost. I'm at the age now where I've lost just about everybody in my family that I loved. Well, that's what happens when you get to be my age. Not everybody can live to be 130. Right now, I think I did the math. If my grandparents were still here, they'd be almost 120. It'd be great, but I'll get to see them again. My mom and dad have gone on to be with the Lord. I'm it. My brother and I are still here, but most of our aunts and uncles, I have one aunt left, period. And she's 90. So what did I think was going to happen, right? So if we look at this and if we get our mind off the past and we get our mind focused toward the future and how exciting our future can be, then the anxiety goes down too, because going into the party, what do most people remember when they go to parties? The past. They're focused on all the bad, none of the good. We're focused on everything we don't like instead of what we do. Our focus is wrong. So last night, even though I don't like to go into situations where there's lots of people and there's music and there's noise, what's the good? Well, I know most of the people. I know the whole staff. I'm with my wife. I'm with someone I love deeply in Lyon. He's one of our missionaries with our church, and he's our pretend son. So everything great, once I focus on everything great, then the edge of everything just went away. Everything was familiar to me. Now, let's say you're not going to somewhere you know. All right, that's cool. Where are you going? Let's say it is a holiday party. You've never been there. Maybe it's a date. Maybe you aren't married to the person. All right. Get the logistics. Where are we going? How many people will be there? How are we going to drive over there? Write down every single thing. It doesn't change. See, this is a great thing about dealing with anxiety. If you write down all specifics before you deal with it, you've already pre-dealt with it. Therefore, by the time you get to the situation, there's no surprises. Again, it's no different than practice. I used to put the kids through the drills before the game. That way there were no surprises. We've watched enough film on this to where there aren't surprises when the game. So why do we allow life to surprise us? See, anxiety goes away if there's no surprise. If I've already worked through the script of what I'm going to face, then there's no reason to be stressed out. Now, I can be lazy and do it the way our parents' generation did. So let's script this the lazy way. And let's say I was not Frank the Tank in the 80s. Where's the first place I'm going to go as soon as I get to this event? The bar. It's funny when you watch Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase asked his dad, "Dad, how did you get through all the chaos of Christmas?" Jack Daniels. That's how a lot of people get through the anxiety of the holidays or drugs, or in the 80s, I would have been so high on whatever I was taking, in addition to everything I was drinking, I would have been fine. People used to ask me, "Why do you drink so much?" I don't do well in social situations, so I have to have something that gets me through it. Because I'm not naturally outgoing and I'm not naturally comfortable in society, so to speak, I always had to have something artificial take the edge off. And I watched an interview with Tommy Shaw from Styx, same thing. Why'd you drink so much? Why did Alice Cooper have to drink so much? If you're not naturally comfortable in this situation, you've got to have something artificial to get you through it. So last night I would have been high on something, probably acid, whatever it was, combined with alcohol, had this been the 80s. Well, it's not anymore. I got Jesus. I got my buffer. I got Jesus. And then I have all my behavioral training. So last night did not have to be a catastrophe. I'd already prepared for it. I was already ready for it. I was already ready to go. No problem. Now all I had to do was focus on meeting cool people that I did not know, and I met several. And the food, because it was wonderful, and the staff's already wonderful. So I had a great time. See how I got to change that? Because it could have been a nightmare. Now, did I see people at the bar trying to deal with what they were faced? Absolutely. And I was very thankful that wasn't me anymore, and I'm glad I left that guy in the 80s. But if it is you, put the bottle down, put the pills down. Yes, acid, coke, heroin, any type of meth does help take the edge off. But there are consequences to those choices. And normally, just because you did it that night, you don't normally put it back down. You normally pick it back up and pick it back up and pick it back up. And we've even made whole movies where people joke about having to take copious amounts of Xanax just to get through the family holidays, or you got a bottle out in your car. It's all through the movies. What happens if you don't need that anymore to get through that? You see, you can beat things out of the holidays without artificial stuff. I am living proof. Once I got Christ, once I got the power of the Holy Spirit, I didn't need that anymore. And with my behavioral training that I've just given you a course in 10 minutes on how to beat any anxiety situation successfully. Make a list, check it twice, rehearse it, go through it. It's no different than doing sales training. When you do sales calls, they're nerve-wracking if you don't like beating the phone, knocking on doors, cold calling. Excuse me. Every sales call is a cold call. Whether it's referral or not, because you never met the person, right? Every first date's a cold call. Every situation we have to go into that we don't know the people, it's still a cold call. We rehearse through it. Why not rehearse through anxiety? See, if you rehearse through anything, you can beat it. Why do I know this? I spend my time interviewing people that have anxiety. Yes, I'm exciting. But I do it for this channel and also do it professionally, and I do it when the media calls me and wants to interview me about stuff. And they ask me, what's it like to be on the spectrum, have anxiety, and then have to go into a social situation you're not ready for? Well, I spend time while I'm during the week just for myself rehearsing going to the grocery store, going to the drugstore, going to the mall, going to places I don't know people. We went to an antique festival this past weekend where there are thousands of people that I don't know. And I've never been there, and I'm going to have to meet people I don't know. Yeah, do I gravitate to things that I like? Yeah, I like furniture. I'm from North Carolina. It kind of goes with territory. Most of my Ferrell family were from High Point, so that's where furniture was made. And the Earharts are from Kannapolis, Concord, Huntersville area, so that makes it easy for me. But I go to things that I'm comfortable with, just like last night, because I had rehearsed where I would be. So I hope this helped. I mean, it's not an end-all be-all. Did it take me years to perfect this? Absolutely. I'm not going to say that I just did this the first time and it was perfect. I'd be lying to you. But you got to start somewhere. And if you'll start with a script, if you'll start with writing out everything that goes with it, and then you take away the stress, object by object by object, and you just go through and check off, got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one. Then by the time you get to the list of your 30 things, you're not stressed out anymore because you've already gone through worst case, best case scenario. You've already decided what you're going to focus on. You've already know how the evening's going to go and where you're going to be standing, who you're going to be talking to, and you've made up fictional characters of who it is. You've made up fictional conversations you're having. Remember, when you go in a social situation, who do people want to talk about? Well, them. Just talk about other people and it goes swimmingly. And by the time you've gotten through the whole party, everybody thinks you're the nicest guy there. Now, is it superficial when I do it? No. I don't really talk about me anyway. I don't really like that topic. My wife says I'm the worst PR guy on the planet for himself. I'd just rather talk about you. Why? Because I get to learn something cool. The more I talk about other people, the more I get to learn about people and about places. And I got to meet a guy several weeks back from England, and it just turns out that I'm a Man City fan and he's a Man United fan. So now when I see him at the club, we have something to talk about. I got to meet a lot of people that have a lot of the same interests. I was at an event the other day. I met a guy from my hometown that I had never met. And trust me, my hometown ain't very big. But he had graduated 10 years before I did. So it was cool to be able to talk about the same people, same places. Even though I had anxiety about going to the event, I meet a guy from my own hometown. What are the odds of me going to an event in Georgia, meeting a guy from Derrida and the Huntersville area of North Carolina? But because I went, got past my anxiety, worked through things, I was able to meet a really cool guy that grew up where I did. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, but I hope this helped. Now remember, if you have any questions, wyppodcast.com is how you reach us, or problem@wyppodcast.com is how you send me a request for help. Or if you want me to cover a problem, maybe I haven't covered what you want to know about, so just drop me an email. Also subscribe, hit the subscribe button, go over there. Also, if you go to our website, wyppodcast.com, there's little trinkets and stuff over there that you can glean some knowledge from, right? All right, also, if this is not your deal and this is not your problem, that's cool. Chances are, holidays especially, you know somebody that has a problem with anxiety in the holidays. All you have to do is go to the grocery store and you can spot them. Or you go to work, or you know a cousin or somebody that's got this. Send them the video. Just, hey man, I know you're having a little trouble with the holidays, and send it to them, okay? Also, you can go back to our catalog, YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and this website, and catch up on all the other broadcasts. I cover a different topic every single week. Also, we do live events. We got one coming up. Don't want to spoil that. But we are going to do a live event with a lot of people. It's fun because people can ask me any question they want. I have not pre-rehearsed it, and I have to answer it on the spot. That's fun to me. I haven't been stumped yet. So I'm still waiting for the time and see what happens. All right, I'm Scot Ferrell. Thanks so much for dropping by. Remember, our website's wyppodcast.com. And if you have any questions, drop me an email, problem@wyppodcast.com. All right, I'll see you next time. I'll see you next week. Hope you have a great week. Take care.